News Focus: K-pop light sticks become new symbols of resistance in defiance of martial law. SEOUL, November 30, Yonhap. 1 year ago, this week, thousands of citizens took to the streets with nothing but K-pop glow sticks after a surprise martial law declaration that jolted the nation's hard-won democracy, rushing out as armed troops moved to seal off the National Assembly. In a moment of stark irony, colorful light sticks, usually used to cheer for K-pop idols at concerts, lit up the streets of Seoul as young people rushed to fight back against former President Yoon Suk-yeol's abrupt martial law declaration to defend democracy, turning a piece of pop culture merchandise into a symbol of democratic defiance. For many, the night of the December 3 martial law evoked traumatic memories of the country's bloodshed struggle to defend democracy against decades of authoritarian rule. South Korean citizens had already witnessed 16 martial law declarations since the country was founded in 1948, but it was the first for the young generation that night. The democracy that earlier generations had fought to achieve was at risk of vanishing overnight, all in the hands of a president democratically elected only 2 years earlier. So when Yoon declared martial law, young people, many in their teens and 20s, flooded to the streets outside the National Assembly, determined to stop him from placing the country under military rule. That night, Yoon dispatched 12 Black Hawk helicopters and nearly 1,500 military troops carrying pistols and rifles to block lawmakers from voting down the martial law declaration. A lawmaker later confirmed, citing data by the Defense Ministry, that the martial law troops were allegedly armed with some 10,000 rounds of live ammunition. Yet the protesters refused to back down. Footage of armed soldiers sealing off the National Assembly spread rapidly on social media, prompting thousands of people, many of them young women, to bring out their K-pop light sticks. Unlike past protests in South Korea marked by fierce standoffs or candlelight vigils, the demonstrations in the days that followed took on a peaceful, even festive air, with people singing along to K-pop songs and holding up their light sticks in solidarity. For many young demonstrators, the glow of these neon light sticks, a light that never dims as some describe it, became a symbol of the country's resilience and a declaration that they would not surrender their democracy. The younger generation in South Korea had typically been regarded as disinterested in politics and less engaged than their predecessors, but that perception changed during the martial law crisis. Even in sub-zero temperatures, they continued to gather outside the National Assembly in the weeks following the declaration, demanding Yoon's impeachment and the disbandment of the then-ruling People Power Party. Within 3 hours of the declaration, 190 lawmakers out of the 300-member assembly, some of whom were forced to jump over the assembly's walls, convened a plenary session and voted in favor of a motion demanding the lifting of martial law. With the motion's passage, the martial law declaration became void just 6 hours after it was issued. While the parliamentary vote formally ended the martial law, ordinary people came to represent the symbolic power that protected Korea's democracy. During the turbulent 123-day period stretching from the night of the martial law to the Constitutional Court's decision to remove Yoon from office in April, light sticks became defining symbols of nonviolent protests that shaped a new chapter of Korean democracy. Yoon was impeached 11 days after he declared martial law and was formally removed from office in April 4. In his martial law decree, Yoon had sought to ban all activities of the National Assembly and political parties, control the media, and prohibit rallies, in a chilling preview of how swiftly the country's hard-fought democracy could have collapsed had it not been for the people who stood their ground, armed only with their voices and the glow of their light sticks.